Hello and welcome to OMAT. We're going to practice OMAT. Everything is OMAT, 1 minute at a time. And this practice helps me to avoid being paralyzed with the work that I need to do all day. So when I get that overwhelming feeling, I try to remember that if a task is too big, then it's not the right next task. And how do you complete projects like that? How do you reach big goals? Don't you have to do big things? Well, every goal that I've ever reached, every project that I've ever worked on has been small tasks that stack up. So if I'm writing a book, I don't sit down to write a book. I sit down to write a chapter. If that's too big, a paragraph. If that's too big, a sentence, an idea, a haiku, it does not matter. If I'm cleaning the house, I'm not cleaning the whole house. I'm cleaning the kitchen. If that's too big, I'm wiping down a counter. If that's too big, I'm throwing something out. The idea is to make it so small that it's manageable. Let's practice. Let's get into our practice just like we want to practice getting into anything, getting into a new meeting with a person, getting into a party, getting into a work situation. We want to get present. We want to make sure that we're here with our body. Our mind and body connect, and our body stays here. While it does that, our mind doesn't go somewhere else. Our mind is here with us as well. We're both in agreement that this is what we're going to be doing. And as we work together, this practice can become stronger. Let's work together with our first exercise. So what does that mean? How does your body and mind work on gratitude? Well, we could be grateful for our body and mind. We can feel our body relax as we look for something to be grateful for. But what's important right now is to break it down to something so small that it's manageable. Meaning, I'm not trying to run the longest list of gratitude in this next minute. I am looking for one thing to be grateful for. As soon as I start looking, my mindset shifts. So let's practice. Let's look for one or more things to be grateful for right now. Let's wrap for now. Have some water. Allow that to help transition and go into the next exercise of meditation. No matter how that first exercise went, we are practicing taking 1 minute. So that means we're practicing moving into our next task so that we have that muscle worked out. The next thing we're doing is meditation. For 1 minute, we're not turning into a monk. We are sitting still, perhaps thinking about sitting still instead of thinking about our to-do list. Perhaps just relaxing a muscle every time we exhale. Let's decide what we're going to think about and sit in any comfortable position, eyes opened or closed, and breathe. As we come back, let's find the water, take a sip, and let's keep moving. Let's go into writing. Now, you're not sitting down to write a book. You're actually not sitting down intending to write anything to hand in that needs reviewing, that needs the grammar to be correct. What we're doing is we're writing almost without thinking, allowing any words, even though some of these words, they might make us scared or trigger us, we can trigger ourselves. Let's allow those words to come out anyway, knowing that we can delete them after, rip them up after, and we don't have to deal with them. Let's write through the fear, through anything right now. Let's wrap the writing for now. And we don't have to wrap the sentence. We don't have to finish the thought. We can just move away from it. Have some water. Because sometimes I use water, I want to call it a crutch, but really it is a tool. So if you don't know what to do, drink some water. You're already doing something different that changes your mind. It shows you your mind can be changed and that you don't have to be stuck. And you're drinking water, which it's always a good time for water. Hydration Nation, let's move on. Let's get into some yoga. And again, no matter how these exercises are going so far, let's do this one, trying to do the best we can. And if a minute seems like too long, do 10 seconds of it. Do just the first pose of this coming up sun salutation. Here we go. Inhale the arms up. And maybe this is as much as you could do today. Reach up, look up. You could stay here for the whole 1 minute and that still counts. It's up to you what counts. We're moving. Let's flow. Hinge at the waist. And with our hands, our arms hanging over our feet, our back is as rounded as we want it to be. When you're ready, flatten that back parallel to the ground and look up. Let's get into our high plank. Plant your palms down, step your feet back. With your elbows near, lower your body all the way down to the ground. Once it's there, push against the ground and your chest comes up, head comes up, look up. And we're going to meet in down dog. Bend the knees and put the hips up into an upside down V with the body. And walk forward towards your hands. Start rising up, meeting the palms above the head, exhaling them down to the center of the chest. Perhaps holding it there for a few seconds. Maybe you are still in the down dog. That's completely fine. Find your way back, find some water, take a sip, and let's move into our next exercise. The plank. The plank. Have you been looking forward to it? Are you willing to do it, whether you're looking forward to it or not? Let's get in that mindset. I'm going to do this for me. That is the kind of person I'm going to do. Try rolling around that thought in your head. See if it helps. If it doesn't, you experimented. Let's move on. Let's get into the plank ready pose. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Get in that plank pose. Feel the strength of your body, even in the first few seconds here. That's 10 seconds, and I know it's already challenging. Now, we're going to meet this challenge in this minute as a practice of how to meet the challenges the rest of the day. That's 20 seconds. So how do we want to meet them? If we're hurting ourselves, we stop. We're not trying to hurt ourselves. Meeting challenges doesn't mean it has to hurt. 30 seconds in, it's definitely getting more challenging. As things get more difficult, as they get more challenging, how do you meet it for 20 more seconds? Maybe you're grunting. Maybe you're yelling. Maybe you're staying more quiet to reserve the energy. Practice for 10 more seconds as an experiment. How do you do when things get tough? For 3, 2, 1, and you're done. Come down off your plank. Maybe stretch your way back. Take your time. Find your water. And find a way to go, wow, I was pretty comfortable before and I got into this very difficult pose. So good job, me. I got to remember next time when I don't want to do something, starting it might help generate that motivation. So get that into the mind, continue going, and let's break some procrastination. Here is where we do a lot of our practice of what is the next right task? How do I break it down into such a small amount of time, such a small task that I can perhaps do it in this minute? But I'm going to experiment. I'm not going to expect anything. I'm going to try something by taking on a task right now. Let's wrap the task for now. Find your water. Take a little sip and take a little bit of inventory. How did we do when we're asked to do a small task? Maybe that is what freezes us. Maybe we don't know how to find the small task yet, but we are in that practice. It's all right. We're going to keep going into our connection. Maybe this is what we sort of let someone know about. Hey, I'm having trouble in this one task. How do you do it? Or I'm thinking about you, or I just wanted to say hi. Let's practice that connection right now. Wrap for now. Find your water. And maybe that felt awkward. It's a vulnerable exercise, so it might feel a little uncomfortable. Let's shake it off, dance it off, walk it off. Let's move our body. We're going right away. 3, 2, 1. Move your body. Now, if you're sitting still, if you feel a little paralyzed, a little overwhelmed by this, here is the practice. That's 10 seconds in, and if you haven't moved, pick something smaller to do. Move one of your limbs if you can. Move your head a little bit. That's 20 seconds in. Once you start that motion, your body might keep moving. Your head might get into the game, and now your body and mind are working together. And for 30 seconds, it could feel really good to accomplish this task. So move if you haven't moved yet. Keep going if you started. Let's see what you could do for 20 more seconds just for today. Let's finish this exercise and our practice as strong as our body and mind will allow for today. Find your energy for 10 more seconds. We're at the countdown. Finish nice and strong for 3, 2, 1, and you're done. That is the practice for today. Thank you for taking OMAT.